What are you telling me, man? We are so back. Welcome back to Torino. Welcome back to my favorite place in Torino. And as you probably remember from our previous visit, the thing is packed with nature. Even now I find it close to ridiculous that somebody built a speedway like this one on top of a flipping building, man. And in a very similar manner to the last time we were here, I keep imagining little Fiats running after each other like madmen and jumping from the roof, landing on your head. Now, the previous time we were here, the other side of this speedway was being decorated with graffitis. Let's see if they finished. Look at that, Stadio Philadelphia. So there are two very important developments since our last visit to Torino. One of them is that the fans of the local team, the ultras of the local team, decided to protest. I mean, don't get me wrong, but it was about time. Look at this segment of the previous video. Look at this. This was essentially my conclusion after the game Torino-Hellas Verona that I came to watch last season. Look at that, and we come back. I don't know what to say, man. I mean, these people are really heroes. They are watching basically crap for I don't know how many years. And still, look at them. Look at how many they are. You realize what the general sentiment was. Another development that happened during our absence from this here city is the eviction of the squatters from Askatasuna. Askatasuna, you remember, it means freedom. And I remember from my last visit here in Torino, I was seeing that word literally all... Whoa. What is this sound, man? So I remember this word written all over the city during my last visit here, and I couldn't understand it. I thought it had something to do with Bilbao and Torino, you know? But it was the name of one of the local squats. So welcome to today's video. If any of you want to see me mumbling about the situation of Torino and Urbano Cairo, or the documentary Ragazzi di Stadio, or that iconic figure of the Ultras Granata, Joe, go and watch those videos. So the local authorities decided to kick out the squatters from the occupied building of Askatasuna. And as per usual, I have thoughts on the matter.
Are you Anthony?
Yeah?
I'm your follower on YouTube.
Are you now? Yeah. Hi, how are you?
Stefano.
Adonis. Oh, are you Greece? Look at
Yeah.
this. Just a moment, let's show the flag. Stefano, you're Italian, right?
Yeah,
You want to be in my film?
of course.
Does Mama want to be in my film? What's your team?
Torino.
Grande Toro.
Are you here for derby?
I'm definitely here for the derby and discussing the Cairo thing. What's your opinion on the Cairo thing?
I hope he will leave very soon.
You hope he will leave, eh? I could actually understand that from the last time.
It's a disaster for us.
It is a disaster. I agree. I mean, someone with absolutely no ambition to help the team, to you know, it's
His ambition is to destroy the team.
His ambition is probably to destroy the
Are
team.
you Greek?
I'm very Greek.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, man. My team is AEK Athens, this one.
Okay.
And I remember the reason that I feel close to Torino is because when I was a kid, I remember AEK playing with Torino. It was a 2-2 draw in Athens, and we lost here at the Delle Alpi with Emiliano Montonico.
Mondonico. Mondonico.
The early 90s.
Alza, come si dice?
La sedia.
Alza la sedia.
Alza la sedia. Mondonico was a great leader.
Great leader, yeah.
Great coach. My father,
Yeah.
every Thursday afternoon, took me
to Philadelphia.
In the Philadelphia Stadium, the old Philadelphia Stadium.
So you were Ultras Granata girls.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. I was
good.
part of the Leoni of the Maratona.
Leoni della Maratona, very good. So you also remember Joe, right? I talked a lot about Joe.
Joe worked with my father in the Fiat.
In the not here in the factory.
Rivalta.
Rivalta.
In Rivalta.
Okay.
and Joe and Margaro,
Yeah.
and a lot of people of ultras.
Do you recognize any of that atmosphere now?
No,
Not anymore, eh?
no, no. I remember the day of the Scudetto.
That was 50
50
50
years.
years ago.
50 years ago.
50 years. Can you
Yeah.
believe that? All
I
people?
cried all day,
Yeah. Well,
all day with my father, my mother.
Fiat was managing everything in the city for so many years. That means that other small companies, like the one of Percassi, for example,
yeah.
they didn't get any breathing possibility to grow because this one was the big industry suffocating everything.
Fiat.
Fiat.
I guess the comforting thing is that besides Atalanta, nobody has a guy like that.
Yeah, you can imagine Sassuolo with Mapei.
Maybe De Laurentiis.
Oh yeah, De
Como
Laurentiis.
comes from outside, Como comes from Indonesia.
De Laurentiis did a good job actually.
Yeah, De Laurentiis.
I know Napoli, the fans don't really, they have mixed feelings about him, but in the end of the day, he did okay.
No, he won.
Bari also don't like him because of the
He
multi-proprietà.
won.
After yesterday, maybe.
I don't know if Mapei is a good example though. I didn't like how they operated with, with Reggiana and moving the team from Sassuolo,
Yeah.
I made videos about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sassuolo is a village with one square, some
Yeah,
streets, finished.
Yeah.
So they don't even have a stadium, or maybe one for the children. So
I went to see women's football. Sassuolo
in
Parma.
Sassuolo,
yeah.
in Sassuolo.
In Sassuolo,
Yeah,
yes.
you can see that. That's good, but for the Serie A, it's not.
It's not, no. And this is a very big city. Torino should be big.
It's going lower and lower as inhabitants. Now
Yeah.
we have more or less 800,000.
Are they leaving?
Yeah, most of them. There was a hard immigration here, industry closing. I mean, the Fiat is not more there. Other industry are not growing in the right way. So there's other people who change because they want to emigrate to places where there's more job.
Wonderful people, man. Big up Stefano and the family for saying hello. I mean, you cannot imagine how happy I get every time somebody says hello. They told me something that I hadn't realized. Torino is not an industrial city anymore. I mean, Fiat is long gone. I hadn't realized that. So Stefano's father said that back in the day, Fiat was a juggernaut. Literally did not leave much space to anybody else to develop. And now they are gone, and there is open space for entrepreneurs to come in and potentially grow. But he made an incredible analogy, and he said that at the moment Torino is like the desert. In order for things to start growing again, you need to wait. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Is Torino really an entrepreneurial desert at the moment? You realize that we got to this discussion after asking Stefano's father about Torino and how could Torino find a Percassi like Atalanta. Italians on scooters. All right, people, so I will go to Vanchiglia. I think it's how it's pronounced, that neighborhood where the Askatasuna used to be. I don't want to speak on the perspective of, the activists, the anarchists, and that particular group of people. But I think we need to understand what makes it very important for the average Joe. Not that Joe, that one is sacred. However, before we do any of that, I want to grab a cappuccino. But we will do that from a very special cafe. So this building was the historical headquarters of the Grande Torino, right? And by Grande Torino we mean the team that had the tragic accident in Superga. What a statue! All right, people, so that is the cafe where we will be getting our espresso macchiato. That is Cafe Norman, where back in 1906, football club Torino was formed. And they were formed by the merger of football club Torinese, which was a very old team, and a group of people who abandoned Juventus. Among them, the former president of Juventus, who decided he's fed up with Juve and left. And these two separate groups of people gathered there at the pub called Voigt back then, now Cafe Norman, to establish Torino Calcio. But don't quote me on any of this. Now let's get our cappuccino and go about our day. All right, people, cheers. This is one of those coffees that I owe to you people who download that clip from the Patreon channel. So, I don't know if you noticed it, but Cafe Norman is sort of posh. Probably the pub Voigt was not so posh, but who knows. I think the Vankilia, am I pronouncing it good, man? Or am I butchering it? Anyway, I think it's that way. So let me share with you my thoughts and why I think that what happened with Askatasuna is an important thing for the entire society and not just for those people. For me, the most important part of this eviction was the speed with which the Italian government passed a package of laws which were dressed under the national security cloak. I mean, they literally introduced this civilian DASPO, preventive arrest, so that you basically spend your free time in a police station while, for example, protests are happening. And this is something that has been tested thoroughly on ultras. That's why you see in many stadia, you heard right? In many stadia that it's first us, the ultras, and then the society. It's something very similar to that. Look at this, man. Spanish Civil War. We have covered this topic extensively, I guess. Festa dei Nuovi Cittadini. Sounds great. So if I have understood correctly, this whole thing is to celebrate the new citizens, the new people who have acquired the residence permit. This is such a lovely concept, symbolically, you know? It's refreshing. This is obviously a very charismatic people's area. Askatasuna used to be at the end of this road. I mean, the building is still there. Do you remember all these graffitis from the last time? Can you see that? We have Inter supporters celebrating the league. So I searched online about the thing, and I had understood back then that there was an effort between the squatters and the city hall to find a solution, you know. I don't remember what kind of collaboration would that be, but I remember there was an effort. It all went to hell, didn't it? So yeah, that was the building back there that housed the squat. The place is packed with policemen, so these people are being, and I don't blame them, you know, but these people are being paid to guard an empty building. Like, what the fuck? This is something all kinds of wrong here. There is this image of a group of people hitting a policeman from those pro-Askatasuna protests. First of all, this is a very bad image. There are no words for me to describe to you how immoral it is to have a group of people hitting one. The Italian authorities accuse the Black Bloc for this attack, but as we have seen in the Genoa video, the Black Bloc kind of tends more to sabotage the proper protest than help. I'm from Greece, right? It's our national hobby to be protesting for literally everything. And we have seen endless times during these protests groups of people that are not exactly, protesters, dress like protesters and provoking incidents. I'm not sure if something like this happens also in Italy. I find the speed, the rush with which the Italian government passed these laws to be probably the most suspicious thing of them all. Look at the reflection of the Mole. You know the Mole? Probably one of the best cinema museums out there that gives the name to the derby, Derby della Mole. That's the one. Look at the Mole and look at these buildings here. What happened here? So look at this. This is a street that everybody knows for the Mole, but behind Orson is actually that parking lot where you can have a way more beautiful view of the thing. Look at this, man. We are at the River Po, Padus. And I can actually see Superga from here. It's right over there. Hey, can you flip and see the waterfall behind me, man? Now, regarding all the other accusations, because there were a lot on Askatasuna, I mean the fact that they were not maintaining a legal framework with the building, or the fact that some of their people had files with the police, A squat that is almost 30 years old has also such people. I mean, did they discover them now? I don't know. And I very much doubt that those allegations alone were enough evidence, to provoke all this violent eviction of the Askatasuna. But probably this is just me. I have trust issues. My question to the average Joe is this. Is a squat worth a legislation that can, in a preventive manner, invite you to give autographs to your local police station, man, when you would otherwise love to get out and protest for your rights? That is the thing that I found weird regarding this whole Askatasuna situation. I could be wrong. I am just here sharing my thoughts. Back in October last year, there were massive protests against Leonardo. Not that Leonardo, come on. And the people of the Askatasuna were on the front line, But yeah, that could be just a coincidence. Anyway, in order to get there and have a look for ourselves, we must find a metro. Where on earth is the metro? Let's go this way. Now, these stairs are extremely loud, man. Coincidentally, the people of the Askatasuna were on the front line of all the protests against the selling of arms by Italy to the genocidal state. In front of me are the facilities of Leonardo, not the one painting Mona Lisas, the other Leonardo, the multinational Italian corporation which is a big part of the military-industrial complex. Now, Leonardo being who they are and having business with the genocidal state, and with the Italian state being a shareholder, 30% or something, of this here company, so there is a certain conflict here, And for people still believing in common sense, like the ones who protested here coming from the Askatasuna, it was like no-brainer. Okay, we need to protest against, collaborating with a genocidal state. So they protested, and you see what got them. All these are assumptions, I have absolutely no idea why the Italian state decided all of a sudden to shut down Askatasuna. Look at this man, so it says wall of dolls for the victims of feminicides. As per usual, I deviated a little bit, of course. Look at this, so right next to this monument for the victims of violence, essentially, is this mural for Mauro Rostagno. And it says here, sociologist, journalist, free spirit, etc., etc. And you can see he was born in Torino and he died in Trapani. This guy lived everything from extreme left-wing activism to spiritualism. He returned from India and established this sort of Shangri-La in Sicily. He also did journalism, and he reported on, everything mafia, which mafia ended up murdering him. And it's yet another interesting point to see how incredibly difficult it is to extract a single word regarding the mafia. The Italian justice picked up on his case in the 2010s. I mean, the guy was murdered in 1988, man. Interesting. I don't know if you remember last year we were walking this very same road. We are the worst football vloggers ever, man. So there was an open training in the morning and we missed it. Do we suck or do we suck? We kind of suck. Anyway, so back here, back to the Philadelphia, the history of Toro. Look at this River Plate. We have talked endlessly about this friendship. So, that would be all for today. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now. Good morning, everybody, from Torino. Today is Derby Day. I read all over the internet that there have been extra mass stadium bans for Torino Ultras. I think in the last week or something there were something like 30 plus. And people online seem to be criticizing the timing. Okay, there are stadium bans that had to do with incidents in Verona, in, I don't remember, Roma, games like that. And there was also a game against Inter that Inter were kind of provoking. I think there were provocations from both sides, Torino were saying, do not come here to party, any potential league winning moment. And Inter were also provoking back, we are coming to party. Anyway, there was no party in that game. So there is this high number of bans for the Ultras Granata, and I'm not sure at all how is the situation with the Torino hooligans, the other group. If you ask me, considering that this is the first game that the Ultras are going back to the stadium, I repeat, I don't know what the TH are going to do. I think they are not entering, but the Ultras Granata are. Considering that, the whole thing smells a little bit. It's a little bit smelly, Okay, so the thing is quite calm at the moment. Not much is moving around. I think that my ticket is closer to this side of the stadium, to Primavera. Look at this. There was a moment earlier this year that the fans, the ultras of Torino, how do I explain this without getting, censored or self-censored? So there was a moment that the ultras of Torino went outside of the training ground, I think, or this stadium, I don't remember where it was, and they placed sacks of excrement, you know? I'm going to the room. I will leave most of the shit and then go to the corteo of Torino. So for Torino, the whole thing is part of the protest and the pride of winning the derby. But there's another thing, man. I mean, Juve played against Fiorentina last week and lost at home against Fiorentina, right? Fiorentina that had probably the worst season in the last 5 years or so. And this made their Champions League claim kind of difficult. The message out of all this is that Juve have something to play for besides the pride for the derby. And Toro will be more than happy to stop them from achieving their goals.
De ahí entonces, squadra amici.
Ho visto questo anche fuori il Monumental.
Claro.
Ho visto...
No, el Estadio Monumental
è buonissimo.
es
È
una
buonissimo.
locura.
Sì, sì, sì.
Una locura.
Are you telling me, man, we found River Plate fans? One of them. So, here's the thing, because I feel the need to explain this to any potential doubters out there. I do not support Torino, but I feel that we need to help them, escape mediocrity. We need to help them to how we can, to become who they should be, not the mediocre, boring, without ambition team that they are now. It feels like the current ownership doesn't give a shit, man. I mean, it's obvious. So this will be the first game that Torino Ultras will enter the stadium since I don't know when. I mean, they started boycotting this season, but I don't remember when. And there is actually an appointment outside of the Philadelphia to go with the corteo. Let's go. As for the scarf, I mean, Torino sent mails. I think they sent them all over the place. Do not wear black and white. As you know, I only wear black and white, So I got the scarf. But Torino is a team that is dear to me, because of my memories as a kid. Torino, Atalanta, Napoli, all the teams of Genoa, even Salernitana, believe it or not. All these are teams that I feel for, Some unexpected events happened. There is actually a group of Juve over there, and let's just say that we were lucky enough. Amazing. I mean, I wasn't expecting that. I was actually expecting more of a, packed transition from the Juventus stadium to this one. I tell you what, we were lucky, man. I mean, I'm not entirely sure. How are these people going to avoid contact? Let's see. We need to be careful here. The meeting point of Torino Ultras is Philadelphia. The stadium of Torino is that way. And this loud group of Juve are in between, without much police. I cannot believe, I thought they were Toro, I saw a group, I wasn't expecting this. And luckily enough, one of them, actually, that was much more, chill, whistled to me, said, better avoid. Amazing, man, I cannot believe this. Now, we probably need to be alert. this is something I haven't seen before, man. It's amazing how the visiting fans are between the local, the home ultras and the stadium. I mean, it was so obvious, man, so obvious. Alright people, so my only comment regarding the wannabe incident, there was absolutely nothing spontaneous about them. I really don't understand. They were so easy to avoid, man. I mean there's a massive delay, man, and I'm not sure why. So it seems that during the clashes earlier, a policeman beat one of the Juve fans, but the ones around me do not know what happened to him. In any case, the Juventus Ultras, they are asking for the game not to be played. Wow. So this explains the presence of an army of stewards with helmets in front of Juve, and also the Curva Maradona retreated all the banners. The Juventus Ultras are leaving. The Curva Maradona did retrieve the banners in solidarity. Man, I don't understand anything. All the news that I have at the moment is from the people next to me who say that fans are in the hospital. Wait, the lights turned off. What's going on, man? Can you hear that? It's massively quiet. What are we doing here, man? All right, so it's half time, and this is. I actually have absolutely no information what's happening with that Juve fan. It's been massively boring. There is no atmosphere, no nothing. The core of the Torino Ultras also left. They left a circle at the Curva Maradona, which is empty. Solidarity is a very good thing. I don't know, man. I have absolutely no desire to stay. I think I won't stay. As for this sector, man, this sector is 50-50 Torino-Juve. Yeah. Wow. By the way, Como is in the Champions League, man. Like, scary, isn't it? The people are happy that Juve are out of the Champions League. Cremonese, they are down. They go to Serie B. If it wasn't for this game here, I would probably go to Cremonese against Como. You know, Vardy and all. And the team that got saved is Lecce, which is a good thing. The South needs teams in Serie A, man. Wow. Look at this. I wonder who scored, man. I mean, because when Juve scored, half of my stand was extremely happy. I wonder who scored now. I still don't have any internet to find out what the hell happened. So I'll come back to this. Yeah, so it's Juventus 2-0. Juventus are 5th. And they play in the Europa League together with Milan. Unbelievable, man. Juve and Milan in the Europa League. And Atalanta are in the Conference League. Right, so it says here that during the clashes before the game, one Juventus supporter was hit by a tear gas on the head. Oh, look at this, we left and goals galore. Let's see who scored this time. The only reason I left is because I cannot stand the stadium without ultras. That's the only reason. I mean, I do feel a little bit bad for missing the goals, but still. Torino 1, Juventus 2. People are happy. The scontri, like the clash, could have been stopped. I mean, I cannot believe that it actually happened. I was there, you know? I can think of 1,000 ways that this could have been avoided. Anyway, it was not avoided, it happened, and now we have someone in the hospital hit by a tear gas, apparently. If that's the case, we will find out more tomorrow. He's apparently very seriously injured. Okay, see you later. Bye-bye for now. How about this view, eh? So look, here's my 2 cents on the thing yesterday. First of all, it seems that the Juventus fan was operated and now he's in an induced coma, but it's critical. I will just tell you one thing. If people like me could see that this is going to end in a clash, I'm pretty sure that other people, the ones more responsible for avoiding it, could see that. It felt like everybody was waiting for it to happen, and it did not feel spontaneous at all. I think the easiest way for you to understand is for me to show you where that bar was. So pay attention. We are doing forensic reconstruction of the scene. Right, so look, so in order to get to Philadelphia, you need to go through this park and then to the right. This is what I did. And I saw that group of supporters thinking they were Torino. And then I came back and went that way. The people who actually potentially saved me from problems were sitting here, man. I mean, big up to them, because I was going like an idiot with the Granata scarf in the Juventus group, you know? So let's forget about that. Now the group were sitting and drinking somewhere here. Where was it? Was it this Café Santos? Probably. The main moral of the story is that Philadelphia, from where the corteo of the Granata came, is straight down that road, man. I mean, it's a straight line. And the stadium where the derby was played is actually sort of visible from here. It's over there, right? How difficult was it, man, for the police to just push these people, give more distance, you know, or deviate the corteo? I don't know, I'm talking out of my head, you know, but if a nobody like me can see the situation, look at Google Maps, see it's a straight line, I was almost certain that this would happen. Surely the police could also figure that out. I mean, they are intelligent people, right? This also happens in Greece, you know. they seem to be operating on punishing instead of preventing. It's almost as if they prefer throwing tear gas. It seems that one of those hit the Juventus supporter on the head than actually do something to avoid the clash. There's one last thing that probably most of you are thinking, hopefully most of you are thinking, there shouldn't be a clash in the first place. Well, I agree, but ultras tend to do that. They tend to like this fight club sport, you know? And I believe that they know the risks. I mean, the people involved in this life know the risks. They just never seem to take the police into account, you know? I don't know. It makes you think that they actually want to spend all that tear gas, you know? Spend it and then buy a new one. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on the matter. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.